Hello everyone, and Angelina, Sparkling Diva, with another pick a card reading for you. I hope you're all doing well. We just have a lot of things going on at the moment, right, in the world around us with the high incoming energies, and weather seems to be odd in many places. Like yesterday, we had a tornado, a mini tornado in a town some 12 kilometers from me. And I mean, a tornado, and the damage, and it was just horrific, absolutely horrific. I had pretty bad weather where I live myself as well, but at least, thank goodness, no tornado. But my children were both in that town, so they are okay, but it was really all very stressful. And I also know that in some other areas, summer just doesn't want to happen. It's just bad weather, more like fall, etc. So it's some things can all be weird, and we keep getting high energies coming in all the time, right? Like Friday, we had an alignment of 5 planets that you could see in the sky. And that also means different energies again. And we recently had the summer solstice and so on and so forth. It just doesn't stop. Now we're headed towards the Lion's Gate. It's still quite some time away, but it will always begin to build up a few weeks prior. And the Lion's Gate is at 8. The peak of that is in August the 8th. But like I said, the build-up starts a few weeks before. So, yeah, we're headed towards that now as well. Anyhow, let's go on with the reading. For this reading, I decided to do on a message from your soul. And that means that we're going to look at your soul essence, your soul energy. And then we're also going to look at what that means in a more practical sense in day-to-day life, what you can do with it, what you should do with it, and so on and so forth. So 3 choices, numbers 1, and if I mispronounce that, please forgive me, I don't always know. Amazonite, Preseli Bluestone from Wales, and this is an agate. I'm not 100% certain which type. I think Botswana agate, but I'm not certain, but it is an agate anyway. So please make your choice. You can also go for the cards. There is one card from each set, so numbers 1, numbers 2, numbers 3. You can also focus on the card if you prefer doing that. So please just make your choice, and I will see you at your reading. Numbers 1, your first 3 cards. These are the cards for your soul essence, your soul energy, and I have a 4th one, but as you can see, it doesn't fit in. So that's this one. I'll stick it in a bit. Leadership. And the first cards we have are joy, inspiration, and opening. And as you can see with this card, there is this heart and a lot of beautiful things coming out or in or both, right? That's the best. And there's also a heart, a huge heart here. So let's dive into that. The joy is your core soul essence. That is your soul energy. The main thing is joy, and the rest flows from that. It's you can see it as if you are a dancing fairy or an angel, and you're just dancing and twirling and moving around, and while you're doing that, you're spreading joy and happiness all around you, and that is your essence. And you also seek inspiration, right? You can see this woman, she's gone higher, up and up and up. And that's also what you do. It feels you almost always do that. Maybe you have times of integration where you need rest and don't seek. that inspiration and new things and learning, etc. But it is part of your soul to do that, to need that. It's food for your soul, and it's who and what you are, and you are basically always learning and evolving and expanding, and like you seek that, you also give that, right? So you inspire others as well just by being yourself. You live and love, a very heart-centered person, very loving and caring, and you can also receive that. And that's what basically we can see here, right? It goes out, but it also can come in. And that's where a lot of people have difficulty. Maybe you in a practical day-to-day life have that as well. That is possible, because this is at a soul level, right? But many people can give, but they can't really truly receive. And at a soul level, you can. That's balanced. And yeah, and that is really beautiful, because the receiving nourishes you, and then in turn, because of that, you have something to give, and because you give, you also receive. So it is a perpetual motion thing, right, of give and receive, as it is actually meant to be for everyone. And now I'm gonna stick this card in, the leadership card. You are a true leader, and true is with a capital in that sense, because you are a leader from the heart again, right? Because you're heart centered. So not a leader from ego and mind. That means that you are not driven in what you do and your leadership, etc., by money and success and greed, but you are driven by love and kindness. So in that sense, that's why I said a leader, true leader, with a capital T for true. Because again, that's also how it's supposed to be, and well, at some point is going to be in the world. That's what we headed towards with the ascension process. But this is you. You have that already at a soul level. It's you. And in life, this may not be automatically recognized, that leadership quality of yours, and not acknowledged, as in our societies we're used to the different kind of leadership, right? The one that does come from the mind and ego and money, and is power based, and it's not coming from love and kindness. That's what we are used to in our societies, because these are still for the most part patriarchal, even though it's changing, but still. And so in your quality, your leadership quality in that sense, may be overlooked by the masses, which could lead to feeling misunderstood or frustrated, maybe even wanting to give up because no one listens anyway, But do not do that, because if you do give up and just like sod it, then you will lose yourself. So do not let society that simply isn't ready for the beauty that you are knock you down. Don't give your power away like that. That also is not in tune with why you have that energy and came into this life at this time. We'll get to that later on. So don't give your power away to that. Don't start to judge, which is sometimes what we start to do when things don't pan out, when we're not seen, we're not recognized, we don't get any validation. And okay, you can say, yeah, but validation should come from the inside. Yes, that's true. But even if you do have validation on the inside, if no one else around you validates you, sees you, well, trust me, you can just become discouraged. It's it's in a way it's normal to also get that resonance in the external, right? So so don't start judging, don't start feeling sorry for yourself either. And one that's also very important, do not become a pleaser who's always giving, 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 giving. You have to hold on to this balance of give and receive, right? Otherwise, yeah, you just lose yourself. Don't give yourself away. Don't become a people pleaser. Right? That's not right. It's also not in tune. It's not congruent with leadership. Right? A leader doesn't just give their power away and give, and never receive. It should be a balancing, reciprocal. Anyhow, so that, and so you should let the flame of love and joy that is you shine bright, daring to stand up and simply doing that might be one of the biggest challenges in life for you. To dare do that, to stand up and simply shine your light and be who you are, without, even if you don't get the recognition, validation, the resonance, etc. And yeah, that can be very, very difficult, but do it anyway and stay strong on the inside so you don't wobble, because that is your soul energy, right? That flame of love and joy, that is you. It's your soul essence. And with that, it's also your birthright, and it is part of what you come to do here, which is what we're going to get to in a bit. Right, I will stick the next cards in a bit. Again, you know, my plank, my reading thingy is only this wide, so I can't stick them all in one go. Anyhow, if you've been following me for some time, you know that anyway. Crystals, we have, this is the more practical stuff that we're getting to now, right? The more what you can do with it, what you should do, and, you know, more in the mundane day-to-day life with that soul energy that we just were going through. So we have crystals, light and love, and study. Crystals, your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. Now I'm thinking maybe you do not heal with that per se, but you might love crystals and they might help you to keep your energy high, to nourish you in that sense, right? And especially if you maybe sometimes have a problem that you begin to waver, give away your power, and so on and so forth, crystals can really support with an awful lot of stuff. And you might simply just love crystals for yourself, healing for yourself, to hold the energy stable for you. Like I've got some currently close to 350 different crystals, all high vibrational, and they have created, I didn't do that myself, they did that themselves. I found out a couple of years ago, they created an energy field in my home. And it's truly amazing. So in my home, these crystals are all connected to each other, and they hold the energy high. Now, of course, if I create a lot of mayhem and chaos and conflict, etc., then it will be hard for them to do that or to hold that. But I don't, right? Yeah. Anyhow, so maybe you have a similar thing that you like crystals for that. And crystals do that, right? They can bring a lot. So it's not necessarily that you do healings or that you channel their healing energy for other people. It is possible, but not necessarily. It can also be that it's just for you and that you just love crystals. And the light and love Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love in this world. And that's basically what came up with your soul essence cards as well, right? With the joy and the opening with that heart and the inspiration, and what I said about you being that flame of light and joy and happiness, and that is your purpose. That's also why it's so incredibly important that you do not waver, do not start to doubt if you don't get resonance easily, or if you and don't start to give your power away, right? What I said, become a pleaser or stuff like that, because then you lose that this and this is your purpose. And in order to fulfill that purpose, you shouldn't give your power away. Your start giving and pleasing and giving and pleasing. That then it's not going to work. Then you're off track. And that purpose is not just for helping other people and serving other people and the planet and mankind. Yes, it is, but it's also for you. You need that as well, because it comes with this inspiration, and you learning and growing and expanding, and it also goes hand in hand with this, the giving and receiving. If you can only give, you're not living fully. You're missing parts of yourself, and that's the receiving part. So yeah, I hope that's clear. It's really very important for yourself as well, and with that, it's also wonderful for the planet. So it's again kind of a reciprocal thing in that sense. And then also we had the study, and we have books about, and again, ta-da, leadership. The second time we have leadership. But first, let's get into the study and the books. That really comes together with the inspiration card, where I said constantly learning and growing and evolving and expanding and so on and so forth. So studying wisdom, seeking wisdom. It's it's not the kind of the information or knowledge that is used for the mind and the ego, etc. And but it's really again heart-based. What really nourishes you, what really floats your boat and makes you grow and happy. Right, the wisdom of the owl. And so there's reading, research, education, and that also might help you get more clarity or give you more confidence in doing what you do. Books, well, that goes a bit together. Books, it can mean that you are a writer, but I feel it's more connected to the studying various information from different sources, as we do see an awful lot of books. And the leadership, well, yeah, we already went over that, the leadership. And since we have the angels here with that person, well, I'd say it's again leadership from the heart, true leadership, right? And if need be, if you're in any situation that's not working out or whatever, then maybe indeed heed what it says there. Take charge of the situation. Don't let anyone take your power away or drain you and so on and so forth. Then you have to take action indeed. Your last card. Right, your last three cards, we have again, I do not know how you pronounce that in English. The Ganges in India, the river, Uluru and Glastonbury Tor in the UK. The Ganges, I really haven't got a clue. Maybe you say Gange or something. I don't know. I really don't know. Sorry about that. Anyhow, these two both make me feel that you doubt yourself and what you can do, because they both say that you shouldn't do that because your powers are real, right? It says that I have power and it is real, and here it says that too. I have power and it is real. Exact same sentence. Glastonbury and this one, the first card, say that it may take time to develop your powers, especially if you've been through discouraging events in life. And considering that your soul energy is so light and joyful and loving, it is very likely that even as a child, for instance, that you weren't seen, that you got very little validation. Or can also be the other thing, the leadership thing, that your strengths was seen, and because of that you were pretty much left to your own devices, right? Because people figured you could fend for yourself because they did see that strength. But growing up in what, especially for you, was a very harsh environment and not in sync with your vibration, that light vibration and the love, that could have been too much for you to handle on your own without any support, even though you are a leader and have that strength. Because the clash, there's a gap between you and your energy and the environment. So, like I said earlier, you may be a leader, but your leadership is from love. So even if you maybe stepped into your leadership shoes at some point as a child or an adult or a young adult, you may still have gotten trampled upon because it wasn't recognized as true leadership, true leadership without capitals, that is, because that's not what society is used to, the way you do it, right? So in that sense, it can take time and to recover from that and to grow your powers again, but they are real, so never doubt that. And also accept, like it says here, that it takes time to recover, to develop your powers, and to find your place in the world as well because of that. And it says here, accept where you are, right, at this moment. You can't force things. Just you have to trust that you are on the right path as long as you hold true to who you are. So if you're not really even certain, go inward and feel who you are, and don't waver from that in the outside world. In that sense, be like the Thor and Uluru, solid as a rock in your essence. Stand tall like the Thor, and nothing will happen to you when you stand up and are sane. Just like the Michael's tower here on the Thor has been standing there, just open, it can be seen from a great distance really, and it's undamaged, nothing happens, right? So and with the time thing, that it takes time, it's similar to Uluru, happened to Uluru. Most people did not really respect Uluru. It's a sacred site to the Aborigines, and most people didn't really care about that, and the wishes and the needs of the Aborigines, they didn't care. All they wanted is to visit it and to climb it. This is actually the climb here, used to be the path to the top, and buy a certificate that they did that, and that's all they wanted. That's all, and they didn't give a toss about it being a sacred site and the importance of that to the Aboriginal people. But over time, it did get the respect it deserved, and because it's now forbidden to climb it, and there's fencing all around the rock to protect it from disrespectful people. People were even peeing against it, and there is a waterhole on the other side, the Mutachulu waterhole, and which is also very important because in ancient times people needed that water to survive, to drink, and people were just pissing in it deliberately, right? And because they don't like the Aboriginals, don't like their nothing, their culture, they don't respect them, so they just came there, spat in it, pissed in it, etc., etc. But these days that it has changed, and may still take some more time. But anyhow, the relevance of this story for you is, it might also be like that it takes a bit of time. But if you just just hold on, and persevere, and don't cave and give in, and you will eventually also get the respect and validation. And it is not an easy task and path that you have chosen this life, because it is very important for yourself, for your soul, and for the world. But it is not an easy path. To you, your soul, as the process of daring to stand tall and shine your light without any fear or doubt. That is very important for your growth. Even on a soul level, also in life, but also on a soul level. It's what you need to reach a higher level as a soul. So step into your power. And your path may not be straightforward, right? It really may take time. Like the path that winds around the tour, these lighter lines here are actually paths that you can walk, and these paths twists and turns. And in the past, priestesses of Avalon walked that path, and it was really a big process to do that, a big event to be allowed to do that as well. And during that walk, all kinds of things happened to these priestesses. And energetically, they things were healed and uncovered and learned and felt and cleared, and so on and so forth. And such is your life, also like that path, that winding path. And it may take time, which came up here especially, but along the way you will get what you need and shed what is necessary for your growth. So it's not for nothing, right? You might get impatient, like, why is it all taking so long? But just look at your path. You are growing, you are learning. It is happening. So this is what I have for you. It got lengthier than I had planned. So I had wanted to do charms, but it's already too long. So I'm not going to do that this time. I hope it does resonate with you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Numbers 2, your first 3 cards, and there is a 4th one. This is your soul essence. There's also gratitude, but it doesn't fit in my reading board, so I will put that there later on. Anyhow, let's quickly start, because the first set got way too lengthy, so just sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee or whatever. Your soul essence, your soul energy. We first have flow, pleasure and grace, and then gratitude. You bring flow, fertility and movement in situations. That is for yourself, and also very handy for yourself, of course, but also your gift to others. I feel you are a medium to old soul, and all that you've learned before in previous lives brought you the ability to do that, to have that influence and flow, to move through life with relative ease when you're in alignment. And there's a lot of gratitude, both with the the pleasure, the grace, and the gratitude card itself that is not in here yet. And gratitude is a very high vibrational energy. And I also feel you yourself can flow through life and situations, including difficult situations, with ease and grace, as if nothing really sticks to you. And I actually don't have to put this in anymore because I have covered much of this. I want to move on to the next card, which is all still connected to this, right? And anyhow, then we have the Death Valley, and that what I said is it's as if nothing sticks to you. Also comes up with the Death Valley. It appears just like lifeless and barren, right? And that's why it's called Death Valley. But even when in barren situations, you don't take on that energy, nor do you despair. And you see that there is still life, meaning there's still good in the situation, even when it looks not that good, not that lively, not so great, right? And like there's also life in Death Valley, right? People might not expect that, but there is life there still, even in that situation. And you have that quality as well. And I also get a sense that you know when to act and do something, for instance, to change or better a situation, or when to leave it be and just step back. And in connection with a person, that could be knowing when something is part of their path, and they have to learn themselves to sort it out, where others might try to convince them to do something, right? That would be trying to make the person go for a change when they're not ready for it, and maybe don't even see the point of doing that. And I feel that you don't do that. You see that when you need to help or support or inspire, and when you shouldn't, when it's their own thing to do. So you don't do that, and then you step back and allow people their own growth at their own pace. You see that it's not, when it's not your, let's say task to help them out. So in that sense, again, nothing sticks to you. That's absolutely beautiful. That is also flow, right? Because it's not sticking to you. You're not getting caught up in things or drama that isn't yours to engage with. And then we move to the fairy circles and this grand shrine in Japan, the Inari shrine. And they both speak of fertility. And especially in a place that isn't, this one especially in a place that isn't all that fertile. It is a really dry place, and because of the termites that are there, that actually form these circles and make this greenery grow around the circle, bringing life to that dry, arid place. So it's fertility, and so also in a place that is not very, very likely to be fertile, like Death Valley. But this is also about fertility. So in that sense, all three. And I feel that comes up a lot in your reading, in your cards. And when you listen to your inner guidance and also your body, you know just how to nourish yourself. And at the same time, you bring nourishment to others. You don't necessarily have to do anything specific towards that. You can, but you don't have to. It's just inspired in others by your energy. It is somehow, and that's really funny, somehow it feels as if you have an energetic footprint that you leave behind wherever you go, and that lifts up the energy, like leaving an angelic feather with each step that you take. And that can be very helpful for the planet, for an area, but also for, well, actually, with that, for other people as well. Just imagine that. You go for a walk, even if you walk to a shop or through a shop or through the woods, and that every step you take leaves behind a high vibrational feather or rainbow, tiny rainbow or something. And what that does to the environment is amazing, you know? Anyhow, we'll move to your other cards. And with all that, you bring balance, which we see here with the Justice. Lady Justice, she holds the scales, right? So that's balance. And since Lady Justice is an angel, it indicates that you don't take on anything, right? Meaning you can be somewhere, engage, but you don't take things on in your own system when they do not serve you. Just like an angel wouldn't do that either, right? You're able to let it glide off and move on without, well, damage or let's say rubbish that isn't yours. So again, it's not sticking to you. It's absolutely wonderful. And it is also important that you follow your heart's true desire. Is if you do not, the above that we well, the aforementioned, right, will not go that easily. And then you can lose your own inner balance and get off kilter. And then that will disrupt your flow and the ease in life. And I feel you should then, if that happens, take time to recover, time for yourself to find your true north and balance again. And when you do, you can move on, right? So do that, remember that, and then you'll be fine again. And then we get to the support card, and what stands out to me here is the caduceus. So I'm focusing on that. The caduceus represents peace, protection, and healing, but apart from that, also oneness. And oneness can be achieved by uniting opposing forces, like the sun and the moon, masculine, feminine, light and dark, active and passive, etc., etc. That means that when you come back into alignment, uniting what troubles you, when you get off kilter, that was mentioned there, then you that's what you have to do. Unite these seemingly opposing forces within you. When you have difficulty, maybe difficulty deciding what to do, where to go, and so on, then basically when you're indecisive, you are torn between two or more things, right? And that's the opposing forces that this Caduceus speaks of. Then the oneness is gone on the inside. So you will have to then restore that. And when you use the power of the Caduceus and unite with your heart's desire that comes up here, then you can make a decision again and move into clarity, and then you will start to that flow again and that ease in life, and that nothing sticks to you. So if you do get in a bit of a turbulent situation, do that. Then what I said here, take time to go inwards and to feel your heart's desire and sort out the opposing forces, the things that are pulling you in opposite directions, like going left and going right. And then wait, take a time out, wait and feel in your heart. Listen to your inner guidance. Then you will know what to do. And by doing that, you will bring oneness back inside. You will unite these opposing forces. I hope that makes sense. And anyhow, your last two cards, we have music and spiritual healer. Now, music, your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. It is possible that you indeed have something with music, that you make music, like to listen to music or like to dance to music, dancing without any, not a specific dance with fixed steps, like right now you have to move this foot, that foot to the left and twirl and this and that. No, just moving with just going with the rhythm of the music and allowing your body to just flow with it, not thinking I have to now step left and right and forward and back and blah, not that kind of dancing. That's again flow. And the spiritual teacher, you heal with your classes, sessions and seminars. Yeah, maybe you have aspirations to be a spiritual teacher. That is if that's the case, it would be very good, because you have that quality to flow and that nothing sticks to you very easily. And that's very helpful, because if you're a spiritual teacher and you take on all the energies from all these people that come to you, etc., well, that's very difficult, because yet then you will have to let go of that again. And so you have great qualities to be a good spiritual teacher without it draining you. Or maybe it doesn't resonate with you at all. That's, I must say, sometimes these cards from Doreen Virtue are a bit tricky, because they are so specific. Maybe you say like, well, I have nothing with music. Well, okay, then just, so, in that sense, I'm going to leave this to your own interpretation. You will know yourself. Right, if you have a special thing with music and maybe play an instrument, and also if you make music, if you play an instrument. I've played guitar myself and drums, but also shamanic instruments for sound healing, etc. So a shamanic drum and an ocean drum, etc., etc. And that's also flow. It's also from inspiration, intuition, from feelings, from the heart, and it's flow. And it can also bring flow in others, right? That's what a good classical music piece will do. It's isn't it judged by that as well, whether it actually really flows and has these waves in it with crescendos in it, all that stuff. So music is also flow. But anyhow, I do hope it resonates the whole lot, and absolutely beautiful stuff came through for you. So thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Right, number 3. You're reading the first cards. There's another one, a fourth one is yours. These are your soul essence, your soul energy. And we have adventure, fulfillment, success, and we also have power. You are just flying high. The sky seems to be the limit for you. And you really have what it takes to make things come true with fulfillment and success, etc. And also with the power card. And you really have an amazing power, and even if you don't see that reflected in your life at the moment, but it is your soul energy. And I feel a very radiant, sunny person, especially with this, I'm just gonna put this in here, and then we get glare with the power and adventure card. It just feels really sunny and radiant and very powerful. that orange and yellow, golden yellow, etc. really stands out to me intuitively. Um, you need freedom, adventure. That doesn't mean to say risky things per se, but being stuck in routines in life will likely not do you any good and make you feel good. Your strength and high vibing energy can make you succeed at anything you choose to do. And I feel the freedom and variety is important in order to have that. When everything gets predictable, you may lose your zest to fly and to thrive. You really need that. You're not the kind of person to be tied down. And that doesn't mean that you cannot have a commitment, for instance, in a relationship or a job. You can sure be committed in all areas if you wish, right? As long as that commitment doesn't require you to clip your wings and to settle and give up your personal freedom or who you truly are. Because then you lose your power and the golden touch. And more importantly, you will then start to become very miserable in life as well. You really need that personal space, right? And that's why I said adventure doesn't need to be risky stuff per se. It can be all kinds of things, right? You think in the broad sense of it, but also in the smaller sense, like personal freedom, needing that space and not living a predictable, routinous life. And now we're going to look at the more practical side, what you can do with it, what you should do with it, and so on and so forth. We have, there's two more cards, I will put them in a bit. We have freedom, trust, and energy healing. Again, freedom, right? And we also have the travel card. And the reassurance that you are free to choose. It comes up a few times, and at the very least here we have options. That's the last of these cards. So you are free to choose. And that might be important to hear, especially if you feel tied down by someone or something. You can choose. Options confirms that. You do have options as well, right? And if you indeed are bogged down, then go inward and get clear what your North Star is and trust your feelings and inner knowing. And if you're not bogged down, it is still important to trust your inner guidance so you stay connected to your true north and so your boat will keep sailing in the right direction at all times. Right? That's very important. If you want to manifest your soul energy and live that wonderful, fulfilling life and have that freedom, etc. And the energy healing, you may be a healer, but it is also possible that just your energy in itself is healing to other people, meaning you uplift others, but just by being yourself and by doing what you do. And in order for that aspect to work, you do have to be in alignment again with your true north. And I feel an immensely powerful energy with you. If you do choose to be a healer, you can really do big work. Not just with people. I feel like, you can also, for instance, heal an area or a park or woods or water or something. If you are called to do that, you can do really big work in that sense. And you have an enormous power. I feel that. And houses, for instance, is also a possibility, cleansing houses or uplifting the energy in houses. But again, it comes down to being aligned with your true north, to know where you channel that energy and what to do with it. And let's see now, let's go to the this card with the travel. the options, well, there's not much more to say to with that really than what I already said, right? You have a lot of options, and you do not have to be tied down to something, someone, whatever. You can choose. You can take that freedom and choose. There are options. And with travel might be an important part of life for you, whether for work or during holidays, and you need that to nourish your sense of freedom and adventure. Also, the for you much needed change of routine in life, and it can feel well. I feel that it can also be indicative of doing things away from home, like a day trip or a weekend away or going out with your own friends and stuff like that. So not per se travel to another country or for work, or it will vary for every one of you. It's not a personal reading, so you have to interpret that the way it is accurate for you. And yeah, but it does come back, the freedom, right, we had the adventure, the freedom card, and then now the travel. Very important for you, the personal space, the freedom, and not living a predictable life of routine. Right, your last three cards. We have Angkor Wat in Cambodia, my favorite place, and Avebury Standing Stones in the UK. Angkor Wat. Again, this feeling of vast power and a very sunny disposition with this. That I also mentioned with the earlier cards, especially the power card and the adventure card. And the sun is power, right? It is life bringing, cleansing, healing, and a vast source of energy. There you have that again. I mentioned that again this also with the energy healing, that you have this vast power. And yeah, I feel you have that all within you, whether already manifested or not. That power, all these things, that life bringing, uplifting, healing energy, and so on and so forth. And also with this card still, Angkor Wat used to be a highly advanced civilization a long time ago, with really great wealth and comfort and well-being for its people. So again, there is power and strength that comes up, right? Like the power card. And of course, there's also travel, right? Because unless you live next to Angkor Wat, but otherwise you'd have to travel to it. And so, and we did have travel, right? We had travel, and I feel also a potential interest in cultures, and if not specifically culture, it can also be that you have an interest in people and psychology. And then the psychology, if that rings true, then not really from a mental, logical point of view. It's different. It's I suddenly get the feeling, and I get goose flesh all over now, and that's when I'm hitting something, I get that feeling that you can rise above a situation, and and easily see the big picture of things, and that is a great quality, and one that not many have, not on the scale that you can see this. Really the big picture, and you can use that ability in life, and what comes up then, how you can use that or what with, is to help you find the right course for yourself and for your life. And to explain that, what I'm seeing, literally what I'm seeing is not with my physical eyes, of course, is like an eagle flying up high, high, high. They can soar really high, right? Eagles. Also, an eagle is related to the sun, by the way, which again I mentioned that you have that sunny, radiant disposition. Eagle is connected to the sun too. But anyhow, the eagle can go really high up and then see the real big picture. And by doing that, by being able to do that, it allows you to understand, when you look at that big picture, where exactly you want to do your thing in that big picture. So if you see that rising above that, and you see all the cogs of something, and you know which cog you have to work with, or maybe even which cog you have to invent or be or whatever. I hope you get the picture that I'm trying to paint here. It helps you to find out where you should be and do your thing. By doing that, you get clarity what your purpose is as well. And then we go to the next card. We have your favorite place. And then we see the compass rose. That is your true north, right? I mentioned that a couple of times. And in this sense, for this reading, I feel that your favorite place is not necessarily a specific place, but it can also be what you came to do, your purpose. And that could be related to a place, but it doesn't have to be. And when reading this card as a place, it will be the place that nourishes your soul, where you feel great, where you feel good, where you can be you, recharge, etc. A place that really fully resonates with you. And that can be your home or your garden, woods, or a power place that is further from home. That doesn't really matter. Even if it's further away, you can always tune into it energetically, or you can literally visit, right? And when we go to Avebury, the standing stones, this is really very interesting. I hope you're still with me because it is quite lengthy. This stone circle is really much overlooked. Most people talk about Stonehenge, right, and Glastonbury, but Avebury is very important, but it is often overlooked, and maybe that is what happens to you in life as well, or it has happened to you. That people don't understand who or what you are, and do, and what you do, or that they don't see your potential. Not really. And if that's the case, just stick to your course, your true north, right? And it may take some time, but it will come, and the right people will see you and acknowledge you and what you do. And it could be frustrating, but it likely, if it resonates with you, it likely stems from the gap between you and the others, as you do have a very high vibration. And it's also like you're the jack of all trades, but a master of none. And such people are often overlooked in our societies. Yet them being the jack of all trades and knowing so much is what makes them a true master. Right? But our society are very patriarchal still, and is drilled to only validate the master of one thing. And the specialists, the so-called specialists, while in actual fact we need an equal amount of masters of much, the jack of all trades, right, to create a healthy balance in society. But yeah, that is coming, but yeah, that's gonna take time. And so that you might experience that you are indeed like, your mastery is being a master of much. And many people are like that these days, thank goodness. But don't waver, right? If it resonates with you, you are doing what is right. Definitely was right for you. So don't get off the path, and don't get off that true north. Hold on to that. And like Avebury is very important, it's very powerful, and as a portal. and so are you. And people that did recognize the strength of Avery, of the circles, there's 2 stone circles and then another circle formed by a moat. There were people who did recognize their strength and they tried to ruin it because they tried to stop the current movement, and they made a road right through it, through the middle of the circles. And similarly, you may have had people trying to sway you, knock you, diminish your strength. And don't let that affect you, or not too much at least, because it only means that they fear your strength, because it touches something on the inside in themselves that they haven't developed yet. So it doesn't say anything about you. So don't let it affect you in that sense, right? And be like the Avery standing stones. They didn't sway either, and they managed to hold that power regardless of that road. So so this is what I have for you. I really hope it resonates, because I feel it's an absolutely beautiful reading. And I hope it uplifts you as well. It certainly did me. And thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.